All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, are two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down that rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson of how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, The Back and Forth Between the Beast and the Whore Continues. All right. And Lord Wills, brothers can see on the screen, I have this article here from the Financial Times, and it says European military powers work on 5 to 10 year plan to replace U.S. and NATO. All right. So it says Europeans' biggest military power are drawing up plans to take on greater responsibilities of the defense for the U.S., including a pitch to the Trump administration for a managed transfer over the next 5 to 10 years. The discussions are an attempt to avoid chaos of us withdrawing from NATO, a fear sparked by President Donald Trump's repeated threats to weaken or walk away from the transatlantic alliance that has protected Europe for almost 8 decades. It says the UK and France, Germany are among the countries engaged in the informal but structured discussion. According to 4 European officials involved, their aim is to come up with a plan to shift the financial and military burden to European capitals, and present it to the U.S. ahead of NATO's annual leader summit in Hajin in June. However you pronounce that. It says the proposal would include firm communications or commitments on increasing European defense spending and building up military capability. And that's ultimately all to destroy Babylon the Great. All right. But that's ultimately what's going to happen at the end of the deal. The beast is going to come up against the whore and make her desolate. So that's all this will lead to. If it does happen, this all it will lead to. The different European nations building up their military might to ultimately take part in the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right. And the efforts to convince Trump to agree to a gradual handover that would allow the U.S. to focus more on Asia. The U.S., which spends more on defense than all other NATO allies combined, is indispensable to European security. In addition to its nuclear deterrent, Slovakia, which is committed to the defense of Europe, with several European Air Force carrying U.S. nuclear weapons, it provides military capabilities that contain allies to do not process run air, naval, and troop bases, and has 80,000 troops stationed in Europe. Countries including Germany, France, and the UK have moved to increase their defense spending or accelerate already planned increases since Trump's election, while the EU has rolled out invitations for its members states to speed up increase military investments. Which again, ultimately, all it's going to lead to, if this does happen, just like it could happen. All right, they're just building up their military might to ultimately come up against America and again take part in this destruction, if this does happen. All right, so again, it says European military power work on a 5 to 10 year plan to replace U.S. and NATO. All right. So, again, if this does happen, all right, at the end of the day, it was all done so the European nations could build up their military might to ultimately come up against America, again, to take part in the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right. Like I said, the U.S. has been spending a whole bunch of money for years. You know, like I said, almost 8 decades, 80 years, protecting Europe. You know, I'm pretty sure giving them weapons. Well, yeah, I'm 100% sure giving them weapons, missiles or whatever, selling them weapons and missiles and all that. And ultimately, the end result of them doing that, basically what they've done is give them weapons and support them militarily, all right, for their own destruction. Sell them weapons and things like that. Because the other day, which I did a video on that through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Emmanuel Macron, the leader of France or whatever, was saying that, yeah, these different European nations or whatever, different NATO and European nations, they need to start buying from other European countries like France or Germany. All right, instead of buying U.S. weapons, no jets, missiles, and whatever, buy from Europe. All right, so he was, you know, calling for that the other day. All right, and now you got this, which again, ultimately, all is going to lead up to them building up their military might, dumping more money into their military. All right, ultimately to destroy the whore. All right, which the whore is talking about Babylon the Great. All right. But I didn't have this. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. And that's what's coming, which the word woe means destruction. It's coming to Babylon. All right. A.K.A. Babylon the Great. Yeah, A.K.A. America, North America. And this place is also called, also known as spiritual Egypt. All right. So, yeah, ultimately, all these nations around the world, even NATO now, the different European nations and NATO nations, all right, are building up their military might, all right, are getting ready to dump a whole bunch of money into their military might, all right, and take part in the destruction of the whore, which again, the whore is Babylon the Great, spoken about in the book of Revelations. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. All right, which those European nations are ran by the Gentiles, Edomites, Gentile nations, which are Edomites. All right, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so the Lord is having a majority of these nations, even China. I think China is starting to dump a lot more money into their military might. All right, all these nations around the world are dumping more money into their military might. All right, now even these European nations are trying to do it, build up their military arsenal, their military, build up their military, build up their nuclear arsenal. All right. Verse 10, but beat you, because they're not dependent on them. They now, any nation that's putting your so-called allies, all right, any ally that's putting terrorists on you, they're not an ally anymore. They're an enemy. You know, all this back and forth Trump's been talking against NATO and the EU. They're looking at Trump as an enemy now. All right, which again, ultimately, all is prophecy, because America's own allies, them different European nations and NATO nations, the EU and NATO nations are going to, you know, take part in America's destruction. All right. But what he's doing is things you do to an enemy, not to an ally. And that's how they're looking at it now. That's why, again, Macron was calling for nations to stop buying from the U.S., stop buying U.S. weapons. And now they're looking to replace NATO, and they were looking to increase their defense budget, all right, to get ready to fight Babylon, all right. Ultimately, why this is happening, all right. They can say, yeah, basically, because the article tried to make it seem kind of try to make it seem like they was trying to prove themselves to Trump. They're not trying to prove. At the end of the day, prophecy is going to flourish, and this is being done. If it does go down, they stop buying weapons altogether from Babylon. All right. You know, they start buying weapons from another country. Even Russia, because a while ago, I think when Merkel was in office, all right, Angela Merkel, well, she's not there anymore. The former uh, president of Germany, or maybe it wasn't her. I forget who. It might have been her though. Her and Putin had a meeting, and basically he was telling them that yeah, we can protect Germany, we can protect y'all, man. Putin was saying. All right. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. Salakia. Yeah, Salakia brothers. I couldn't find it, but I remember watching that on RT a few years ago. Um, with Putin telling them that we can protect y'all. You don't need the U.S. or other European nations. We can protect y'all. All right. Or if we can form an alliance. All right. And we'll look out for y'all, basically. All right. So they might start buying, because they're still buying under the table gas and stuff from well, not really under the table, but by way of Russia selling energy to India, and the different nations, European nations, are buying they're buying it from India. They're still buying it from Russia. All right, it costs more to get it, but they're still buying energy from Russia at the end of the day. Because again, Russia is mostly selling it to India, and India is selling it to them. So they're still buying it from Russia anyways at the end of the day. That's why Russia really ain't hurting, like a lot of financial experts have been saying. All right, but yeah, man, war is being prepared. But I'm reading it again. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I am strong. All right. So all these NATO nations, they're, European nations and NATO nations are weaker than America, weaker than Babylon the Great. All right. Because they're looking to them for protection. But now they're wanting to dump more money into their military budget so they can become stronger and ultimately again take part in Babylon the Great's destruction. All right, right along with the other host of nations. All right, that have the nuclear weapons like Russia, Iran, China. All right, Gomer. All right, which is Turkey, which are also NATO members. All right, but yeah, man, it's getting serious, man. It's getting real serious, man. All right. This Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore. It shall make her desolate. Again, the beast being NATO and the EU, and the whore being Babylon the Great. All right. The land that people today call North America. And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the word of Yahweh should be fulfilled. Right, so we're seeing the build up to this prophecy being fulfilled ultimately. All right. That's why they want to, spend more money on their military might, because with Trump, in there, making these threats or whatever, they're not looking at America as an ally anymore. Again, Trump is doing stuff to them that an enemy would do to you, not a ally. All right, so now they're like, yeah, we gotta put more money into our military might. All right, into our military, because we can't depend on Babylon the Great. They're not looking like an ally right now. They're looking like an enemy. So we gotta look to defend ourselves against other nations, all right, like Russia, which again, ultimately, basically, they're all going to join forces and shoot missiles on America, ultimately. All right. But now it's a lot of back and forth between, Germany and Russia right now. All right. And the way, Trump seems like he's on, like he really wants to just, relatively stay out of it. So now they're looking at it like, yeah, we got to build up our own defense budget, because we can't depend on America to be there for us anymore. We don't know if Trump's going to jump in, all right, if something goes down, because that pact is basically being broken up. That pact that they had, if any nation come up against them, they'll all jump them pretty much. Well, yeah, they will. All right, because really it was created because of the threat of Russia, or any nation that attacks one. You attack one, you attack all. All right, but again with Trump, they're looking at Trump like he can't be trusted. So they want to dump more money into their military might, which ultimately the Most High is doing that. All right, to build up their military arsenal to ultimately take part in the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, again, the land of the people in ignorance calls America. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.